As we mark this year's International Anti-Corruption Day, Zimbabwe joins other signatory countries to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption in commemorating this important day. This international treaty provides a framework for prevention, criminalization of acts of corruption, as well as the recovery of assets procured using proceeds of corruption. The international cooperation afforded by this mechanism remains invaluable in the advancement of clean governance, accountability, and transparency, which are benchmarked against the global best practice. Zimbabwe also subscribes to the African Union Agenda 2063, Aspiration 3, with regards to good governance, democracy and respect for human rights, justice and the rule of law. This is echoed by Objective 3 of the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020 to 2030. The Second Republic, under my leadership, remains informed by our shared development aspirations, which are firmly anchored on the unequivocal principles of good governance, institutional integrity, and zero tolerance stance on corruption. As such, I launched the first national anti-corruption strategy in July 2020. Since then, close to 2,500 corruption cases were investigated. Over 800 dockets were sent to the National Prosecuting Authority for prosecution, with a 60% conviction rate on finalized cases. The country has also recovered assets worth over US $20 million procured using proceeds of corruption. I commend the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission and the National Prosecuting Authority for this conviction rate. However, more must be done to strengthen their investigative capacity and synergies, to expunge the perception of a catch and release trend in our approach to corruption cases. On its part, my government has introduced a fast-track courts system to promote efficiency and expedite the resolution of cases, particularly those involving corruption and other economic crimes. Further, the second National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2026 to 2030 is set to provide the necessary framework for an integrated and multi-stakeholder approach in tackling corruption. This dovetails with my government's whole of society approach of leaving no one and no place behind. Cabinet recently approved the Whistleblower and Witness Protection Bill, which provides for the establishment of a witness protection unity within the National Prosecuting Authority, as well as a witness protection appeal tribunal. It is now mandatory for all public institutions to constitute integrity committees responsible for detecting and designing corruption prevention measures. Over 250 institutions now have fully functional integrity committees, while integrity pledges continue to be signed across the entire public sector. My fellow Zimbabweans, running under the theme, uniting with youth against corruption, shaping tomorrow's integrity, end of quote, this year's commemorations allow Zimbabwe to particularly reflect on our ongoing battle against the scourge of drug and substance abuse. Undoubtedly, drug and substance abuse is fueled and perpetuated by multifaceted dimensions of corruption, including our porous borders and compromised members of enforcement institutions, among other aspects. The theme is therefore a call for all of us to deliberately target the root causes of the drug crisis through promoting closer collaboration with the young people and front-loading the culture of integrity in our nation. This is more urgent and necessary given technological evolutions that have transformed the battlefield of corruption. I, therefore, call upon all the citizens of our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe, to work in unison as we proactively address corruption as it manifests in the shadows of our digital world. Our alliance with the youth is key, as they are not only vulnerable, but also part of our greatest asset in countering new forms of corruption. As we commemorate this year's International Anti-Corruption Day, I call upon the youth to be guardians of integrity, as well as raise awareness about corruption and its impact on their communities and their future. I also challenge the private sector, civic society, churches, and other socio-economic groups to cultivate integrity and high ethical standards in the execution of their various functions. Let me conclude by restating that the Constitution of our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe, is supreme. No one is above the law. My government will weed out and eradicate corruption without fear or favor. Under my leadership, corruption will never be allowed to derail or delay our ongoing quest to accelerate realization of the National Development Agenda, that is the Vision 2030, and a higher standard of living for the people of our country. Working together in unity and love for our motherland, a corruption-free Zimbabwe is possible. Finally, I urge all the citizens of our great motherland, Zimbabwe, to refuse and to resist and to report corruption. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe. I thank you.